Welcome to Really Old Movies. I'm your host, Harrison Scullin, and today I'll be discussing the Alfred Hitchcock film Stage Fright from 1950. Some essential movie details. In a rather unusual move for Hitchcock, because he had a lot of respect for her acting abilities, Marlene Dietrich was given much more creative freedom than actors usually would on any of his sets. He even let her decide on the lighting of her scenes, too, because of her experience with director Joseph von Sternberg, known for The Phantom Carriage. This is also the last film Hitchcock completed in England till he made Frenzy in 1972. All right, so now we'll get into my thoughts on the movie itself. The plot, I give it a 4 out of 5. I thought it was excellent. Honestly, I did not see the twist ending coming. I've seen tons of movies like this one before where there's a man, he's accused of a crime. All the time, he is proven innocent. This is the only film I can think of and that I know of where the character who's committed at the very beginning, he actually did commit the crime. It subverts your expectations. But the only downside, though, is I wasn't a fan of the flashback sequences in the beginning with him. I don't think they were really necessary. And it also seems like the movie forgets about him. His character's name is Jonathan, because he's hardly in it once he goes into hiding. And he doesn't really show up again until the last act. In regards to the acting, I also gave that a 4 out of 5. I thought it was really good. I wish Marlene Dietrich was in it more. She was incredible. I loved her acting abilities. I also like how she played being sneaky and vile. She was really, really good at that. I also like the lead actress, Jane Wyman, as Eve. I thought she was good at playing two different characters. She plays a servant to Marlene Dietrich's character and then her actual character. So I thought that was really cool. She was really good at that. And honestly, the only actor I really wasn't impressed with was the one for Jonathan. I'm kind of glad he's not in it too much, even though I think the character should have been in it more. I'm glad they didn't because he was kind of hammy. He kind of felt over the top, especially at the end. He's just like shaking and going crazy. I know he's supposed to be a crazy villain, but I couldn't help but laugh. It was a little silly. All right, in regards to the directing, I gave that a 5 out of 5. I thought it was excellent. Hitchcock, he does it again, man. There are very few movies of his I've seen that I thought were disappointments. Like, this was really excellent. He really builds up the suspense, especially at the end of the film, when we start to understand Jonathan is actually the murderer, like everything was true all along. Because like I mentioned, in a lot of these movies, you think, okay, they're going to figure it out. The main characters, they're going to figure out what the real crime was and prove his innocence and all of that. But no, you realize, oh, wait a minute, the whole time he was actually the villain? Oh my goodness. That's crazy. So I love that. I thought that was awesome. And I give all credit to Hitchcock, man. He's incredible with these. It kind of reminds me a bit of Rear Window, where similar to this, the whole time Jimmy Stewart's like, yeah, this guy, he totally murdered his wife. And the whole time we're like, I don't know, did he? And then, of course, it turns out, yeah, he was right. But just the suspense of it when you actually learn, yeah, we were right. It was just in front of us the whole time. Excellent direction. All right, in regards to cinematography and special effects, I also gave that a 5 out of 5. I especially love the theater scene near the end of the movie. Love the dark lighting and the camera angles. It makes Jonathan look scary. Now, like I said, the actor was a little hammy, but if you just look at his eyes, he looked crazy, and like the dark kind of key lighting they had on his face too. It was really, really good. And then the close up on his hands, and then Eve grabbing them. It was a super tense moment. I really, really liked it. And it was kind of claustrophobic because they were hiding in like a ship or something together. Yeah, it was really excellent. Not a whole lot of special effects. Most of it was the cinematography and camera work was really, really excellent. All right, now here, switching gears a little bit, the music, I gave it a 1 out of 5. I thought it was non-existent. I thought this movie absolutely needed it. There's hardly any in it. It felt kind of awkward in some scenes that there wasn't a lot of tense music. I really wish we had some. It kind of would have added to the tension. But maybe not. I don't know. Maybe it would have ruined it. Maybe there was before. But as of right now, I think it needed music, especially at the very end. It would have made it even more tense. All right. So tallying that all up, that brings my Letterboxd score to a 4 out of 5. So would I recommend this movie? Yes, I would. This is a very underrated Hitchcock film. I've never heard anyone talk about it before. It was excellent. I'm glad no one spoiled it or anything like that for me. It was an excellent, excellent movie. I would put it in the same vein as, say, Dial M for Murder or 39 Steps, or even, like I mentioned earlier, Rear Window. Like this seems to be kind of a subgenre within Hitchcock's work. I really liked it, and I think this is a underrated one for sure. It needs to be checked out. All right, well, those are my thoughts on Stage Fright from 1950. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. Make sure to subscribe to our Instagram and Facebook at Really Old Movies, where I discuss details about the week's particular film. New podcast episodes are released Saturdays at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Amazon Music. All right, thank you so much. This has been Really Old Movies. I'm your host, Harrison Scullin. Take care.